We enter the port of Jordan. Jordan, officially the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. I'm very happy to see new country, Jordan. We leave our boat and we go to passport control. Now we're inside the country. Everything is beautiful in this country. Flowers. We see our boat and we're going straight. This is my wife, Albina. This is small port in Jordan. Jordan is bordered by Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Palestine. Jordan has a small coastline along the Red Sea in the southwest, separated by the Gulf of Aqaba from Egypt. Amman is the country's capital and largest city, as well as the most popular city in the Levant. Population in Jordan, 11.5 million people. Language, Arabic. The country has many deserts, but also have mountains areas. They also have Jordan River. Now we show how looks Jordan. Look at that, how looks behind us. That is the view. Welcome to Petra.
Petra, Arabic, Romanized, Albatra, Ancient Greek, Petra, rock, originally known to its inhabitants as Rakmu, Nabataean, Rakemo.
On this mountain is grave of Aaron. Aaron, Moses' brother. This is Jordan flag. We buy Turkish coffee. Jordanets. You're Jordani?
Yes.
How your name?
Dispiras.
Dispiras. Okay. Thank you.
Shukran.
We're starting our expedition to Petra city. He offers to rent horses for riding to Petra city. Someone riding on the horses, but we just go with our foot.
The city is one of the new 7 wonders of the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Petra would later become the capital city of the Nabataean kingdom in the 2nd century BC. The Nabataeans invested in Petra's proximity to the incense trade routes by establishing it as a major regional trading hub, which gained them considerable revenue. Unlike their enemies, the Nabataeans were accustomed to living in the barren deserts, and thus were able to defend their kingdom. They were particularly skillful in agriculture, stone carving, and rainwater harvesting.
My wife wants to stay here to live.
The area around Petra has been inhabited from as early as 7000 BC and was settled by the Nabataeans, a nomadic Arab people, in the 4th century BC. They were particularly skillful in agriculture, stone carving, and rainwater harvesting. The Nabataeans were one among several nomadic Bedouin tribes that roamed the Arabian desert and moved with their herds to wherever they could find pasture and water. Although the Nabataeans were initially embedded in Aramaic culture, theories about them having Aramean roots are rejected by many modern scholars. Instead, archaeological, religious, and linguistic evidence confirm that they are a northern Arabian tribe. Current evidence suggests that the Nabataean name for Petra was Rakamo, variously spelled in inscriptions as RQMW or Arka.
A local guide tells stories about Petra, but is not always true. Now we see the antique water supply.
Excavations have demonstrated that it was the ability of the Nabataeans to control the water supply that led to the rise of the desert city, creating an artificial oasis. The area is visited by flash floods, but archaeological evidence shows that the Nabataeans controlled these floods by the use of dams, cisterns, and water conduits. These innovations stored water for prolonged periods of drought and enabled the city to prosper from its sale. In ancient times, Petra might have been approached from the south on a track leading across the plain of Petra, around Jabal Haran, Aaron's mountain, the location of the tomb of Aaron, said to be the burial place of Aaron, brother of Moses. Another approach was possibly from the high plateau to the north. Today, most modern visitors approach the site from the east. The impressive eastern entrance leads steeply down through a dark, narrow gorge, in places only 3 to 4 meters wide, called the Sick Shaft. A natural geological feature formed from a deep split in the sandstone rocks and serving as a waterway flowing into Wadi Musa. Petra is adjacent to the mountain of Jabal al-Madba, in a basin surrounded by mountains forming the eastern flank of the Arabah Valley running from the Dead Sea to the Gulf of Aqaba. Pliny the Elder and other writers identify Petra as the capital of the Nabataean kingdom and the center of their caravan trade. Enclosed by towering rocks and watered by a perennial stream, Petra not only possessed the advantages of a fortress, but controlled the main commercial routes which passed through it to Gaza in the west, to Bosra and Damascus in the north, to Aqaba and Lus Qum on the Red Sea, and across the desert to the Persian Gulf, the great temple of Petra. The Nabataeans worshipped Arab gods and goddesses during the pre-Islamic era, as well as a few of their deified kings. One, Obodas IV, was deified after his death in 85 BC. Dushara was the primary male god accompanied by his 3 female deities, Al-Uzza, Alat, and Manat. Many statues carved in the rock depict these gods and goddesses. Al-Khazne means the Treasury in Arabic, a name derived from legends regarding the decorative stone urn high on the 2nd level, which in reality is solid sandstone. It came to be called Al-Khazna in the early 19th century by the area's Bedouins as they had believed it contained treasures. One legend is that the Egyptian pharaoh created the Khazne by magic as a safe place for his treasury. Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt wrote of another local legend that ancient pharaonic treasures were hidden in the urn. Significant damage from bullets can be seen on the urn, which the Jordanian government attributes to Bedouins who believed the legend. It is thought that Al-Khazne was built as a mausoleum and crypt at the beginning of the 1st century AD during the reign of Aretas IV Philopatris. It is one of the most popular tourist attractions in both Jordan and the region.
Now we see Nabataean cat, who also talk in Nabataean language. Petra city also have Jordan flag. We're going to see the buildings of the city structure. I climb rocks without the help of my hands. This is not easy, but I want to film you what the city looks like. There are buildings for various purposes here. We came to the foreigner prison and saw a criminal sitting here. He has jewels in his hands. Of course, I'm just kidding. It's just a poor Bedouin. But prison is real, no joke. Here we see a solitary confinement cell from which you cannot escape. Now we're going to the courthouse. We look to beautiful ceiling. Hall of Justice.
Зал правосудия, думаю, так.
Nabataeans lives beautiful. Ancient people left a goat here. They probably forgot to take with him. We see a large city around us, but we can't see everything because we have to go back. We say goodbye for this city and go back.
A little farther from the Treasury, at the foot of the mountain called Treasury, is a massive theater, positioned so as to bring the greatest number of tombs within view. At the point where the valley opens out into the plain, the site of the city is revealed with striking effect. The theater was cut into the hillside and into several of the tombs during its construction. Rectangular gaps in the seating are still visible. Almost enclosing it on three sides are rose-colored mountain walls, divided into groups by deep fissures and lined with knobs cut from the rock in the form of towers. The theater was said to hold around 8,500 people. The performances that audiences were able to attend here were poetry readings and dramas. Gladiator fights were also said to be held here and attracted the most audience, although no gladiator was able to gain any momentum or fame due to the heavy mortality rate that came with it. The theater was one of many structures in Petra that took significant damage due to the 363 Galilee earthquake. Christianity found its way to Petra in the 4th century AD, nearly 500 years after the establishment of Petra as a trade center. The start of Christianity in Petra started primarily in 330 AD, when the first Christian emperor of Rome took over, Constantine I, otherwise known as Constantine the Great. He began the initial spread of Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. Athanasius mentions a bishop of Petra, Antioch, 10 named Asterius. At least one of the tombs, the tomb with the urn, was used as a church. An inscription in red paint records its consecration in the time of the most holy Bishop Jason.
But now Muslims live here, and the Christian heritage is not visible here. We take another look at Petra's most recognizable building.
The huge surface of the rock was cut down, but for this it was necessary to build scaffolding, and there are almost no trees in this area. In the absence of scaffolding, it was possible, without cutting down the entire surface at once, to take advantage of the unevenness of the rock and walk along it like steps. In this case, both the stonemason and the carver began from the very top.
There used to be a riverbed. Here now we're going up it. Yes, there used to be a canyon here. My wife looks like Nabataean woman.
Девушки Набатейкой выглядели. Выглядели очень похоже.
I asked my wife, show me Nabataean face.
Вот как они.
Here is what they look at like. We see old Romanian floor.
The main street, stretching from east to west through the entire city, was laid out during the Roman rule. On both sides of it, there is a majestic colonnade. The western end of the street abutted a large temple, and the eastern one ended with a three-span triumphal arch. The territory of Petra occupies a large area. From the center, where the ruins of numerous buildings, no longer rock-cut, but built in the traditional way, from stone, are well preserved, it extends for several kilometers.
You Jordan?
Yes.
Yes? How your name?
Yusuf.
Yusuf. It's like Saint Joseph, yes? Nice. Joseph, what your religion? Christianity or Muslim? What you? You Muslim or Christian?
Muslim.
Okay. Joseph.
Joseph running. He's a Jordan kids.
Yeah, what?
And we're touching here stones. They looks like sculptures. But these sculptures made
Где тут и
wind and water.
приложил.
Jordan kids, they still want to talk for us.
И древняя дорога мощеная.
They see I'm filming
Видим, что все.
and they want to be in film.
Вверх, значит, тут текла река вниз. Да. Женщина нашла
My wife see
целующиеся.
sculpture like two Nabataean kissing to each other.
Целуются и правда. Скал.
We still see the stone floor, but many of the stones were taken to build another building.
Кто-то сорвал камни на какие-то свои постройки. Можно представить, как тут 700 лет до нашей эры приехали.
The view here hasn't changed since ancient times.
Все примерно так же и выглядело. Ну вот и выходим из Набатейского.
And we already living this kingdom.
И уже нам недалеко осталось до выхода. Пройдем
We see the border area
границу, и вот уже видно город Иорданский. Тут еще
I think border guards were here before.
что-то внутри.
They probably charge tolls for passage, but it's just my opinion.
Жили,
This entire area is protected and costs a money to enter.
The Badul, Petra Bedouin, were forcibly resettled from their cave dwellings in Petra to Seyhun by the Jordanian government in 1985, prior to the UNESCO designation process. They were provided with block-built housing with some infrastructure, including in particular a sewage and drainage system. Among the 6 communities in the Petra, the village of Wadi Musa is the largest in the area, inhabited largely by the Layathna Bedouin. In a popular poll in 2007, it was also named one of the new 7 wonders of the world.
In the right side we see Nabataean buildings. It's from Nabataean mythology and religion. It's a simple like temple. We see the last rocks in this city and we're going to drink coffee.
This man make me coffee. Jordan man. What's your name?
Arafat.
Arafat. Okay, thank you.
For hundreds of years, trade brought great wealth to Petra. But when the Romans discovered sea routes to the east, the land trade in spices died out, and Petra gradually became deserted, lost in the sands. Many of Petra's buildings were erected in different eras and under different rulers of the city, including the Idumeans, Nabataeans, Romans, Byzantines, and Arabs.
We go back from Jordan to Egypt. Thanks for watching. Thanks for traveling together with us.